How's it going, everyone? Maximilian here once again, and today is going to be kind of a live episode of Let's Talk. Usually in Let's Talk I like to discuss things happening in the games coming out, things I might be excited for, show some trailers, break some things down, and get some feedback as far as you guys to see if you're interested in these games as well, just to see if I like the same games everyone else likes. But I kind of want to talk about something general today, and it's multiplayer and competitive gaming, and what it's kind of done to me as far as a dude growing up, going through college, getting out of high school and playing games, and eventually coming to where I am right now. So let's go from the start. Back in the day, like in high school, I loved video games. I absolutely loved everything about them. I was first introduced to RPGs back when I was in high school. As many of you guys know from previous videos, Final Fantasy VII was my first RPG and still my favorite game of all time. And then back in the day, I could pretty much play anything. You put something in front of me and I would destroy it. I remember playing like Evolution on like freaking Sega Dreamcast and just murdering the game to no end. Essentially, like growing up in the mountains like I did when I was younger, it gave us something to do, and it was a lot of fun because there wasn't a lot of stuff to do up in the wilderness. So I started working at a game store and going to college all the time, and I felt like playing games kind of felt like my job, so I actually kind of like drifted away from video games for a little bit. And then I started getting back into like competitive games. Now, mind you, I've been playing fighting games my whole life, and I still was at this point because in college they had a little arcade and I was pretty much playing every day. But what happened during this time is that I pretty much stopped playing single player games for the most part, except for a select minor and few, and I was playing multiplayer games. At the time, I think I was playing SOCOM 2, Final Fantasy 11, fighting games like Capcom vs SNK 2, Third Strike, and Initial D arcade games, and racers and stuff like that. All competitive games. Like, it was really hard to get me to sit down in front of a single player game, like a game that's a very selfish experience, you know, something you don't share with anybody else online or competitively at all. It was just any game like that, you couldn't get me to sit down in front of it unless it was absolute gold, you know, unless it was like Metal Gear Solid 2 coming out or the new Final Fantasy. And the game came to the point where I still haven't played games like Final Fantasy 13, and I still haven't played games like I'd say it took me a couple of months to even play like Final Fantasy 12, or maybe even like 6 months, and it took me a while to get into Metal Gear Solid 4. As far as single player games go now, I'm extremely selective, and it's really hard for me to play games. Even for like the past 3-4 years, I'd say the only games I really play on a frequent level have been fighting games, like like Street Fighter and Marvel and anything really that's been fighting game related that's come out in the past few years. And I've also played like Call of Duty, like a ton. These are all multiplayer games, but games that are based off competition and you playing somebody else for the sake of like winning or boosting your stats or things like that. And I got addicted to that. I got addicted to like going up against other people, like recording your stats, loot games, stuff along those lines, and I could really never play single player games. So it was kind of weird, like transitioning from when I was younger, really like playing absolutely everything, and now I really can't play anything. So now I'm at this phase where I'm still kind of stuck there. All I really play is like Marvel every once in a while. Soul Calibur came out and I'm enjoying that right now, but it's a fighting game, and I've practically been sticking with Call of Duty every once in a while because I like to balance things out with a shooter. But I haven't really played single player games. I honestly think the last single player game I played was Uncharted 3, and that didn't come out too long ago, but before that, I think the only other single player game I played before that one was Uncharted 2. Just because I love those games and I feel like they represent modern day Indiana Jones better than the modern day Indiana Jones movie did. And I love adventure games with a large scale of like atmosphere and scope, so there's a lot of little aesthetics I like to playing certain single player games that'll get me to play them. Another game that I played recently, or not even recently, it came out quite a while ago, was like Bayonetta, and Bayonetta was absolutely awesome if you guys haven't played a game like that. I tried to play Vanquish, and I think I played it for like 2 hours, and I never had the encouragement at all to put it back in, so it's weird. Is anybody else like this, where you only play competitive games now, and like multiplayer is a really big influence on the type of games you play? Because I want to change that. I feel like there's a lot of games that have come out over the past like 5 and 6 years that I kind of let just go under because I was too busy playing either Call of Duty or Street Fighter or a racing game or games of competitive nature. So is anybody else like this? Is kind of what the point of this video is has the modern influence of games where social games have come in and they're affected by you comparing stats to others and you constantly going up against somebody else or gaining levels and you comparing your things or your gear and equipment or guns or whatever to other people. Is the draw of those games so big now that it's made you stop playing single player games? Because it seems like it has for me. And for the sake of my channel and the quick let's play that you guys saw of me playing Soul Calibur 5 story mode that I'm currently still going through, if you liked stuff like that, I kind of enjoyed playing it and like narrating what's going on, and it gave me a bit of a inspiration to play some other games, to fire up like a single player game again and see how it goes. So let me know what you think. If this is something that you might like to see later on, like me firing up a game that you guys might recommend, I might actually be pretty curious in doing that. And then there'd be a couple of a couple of like walkthrough episodes every once in a while. So leave me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If this has been an interesting Let's Talk talking about kind of general perspective on people who play games, leave me a comment as well. But as always, this has been Maximilian, and I'll see you guys next time.